The Philadelphia Eagles are now locked into the 2 seed after B2A. You could figure out the acronym to the Dallas Cowboys as the Philadelphia Eagles won 41-7 versus Dallas. It didn't matter if it was Kenny Pickett. It didn't matter when it was Tanner McKee. We put a spanking on the Cowboys. It was a good old spanking. And don't get me wrong, I get it. Dallas got nothing to play for. CeeDee Lamb wasn't playing. It still feels good to pull out the brooms and sweep the Cowboys this season. Now, what can we take away from this game? Let's start with Saquon Barkley. 2,000 rushing yards on the season. One of 9 to ever do it. This is one of the greatest running back seasons ever. And Saquon could break the record next week, and it could become the greatest running back season ever. And that's up to him and Coach Sirianni. If they want to go out there and they want to try and break the record, I'm all for it. If they're deciding that the goal of the Super Bowl is way too important to risk Saquon playing in any injury, I'm all for it. The team's locked into the 2 seed. The only thing to gain next week is a piece of history in cementing Saquon's name as having the greatest running back season ever. But 2,000 yards, you're already in the top 10. And the guy's been an absolute stud this year. And a move that many criticized. And many said, you know, it is too much money on a running back, not a game-changing move. Week after week, month after month, provided dividends. Saquon Barkley would be third on most MVP ballots right now. A running back even in the discussion for most of the season was crazy enough. Saquon Barkley has been an absolute beast. Saquon Barkley has been an absolute game changer for the Eagles. And coming to the Eagles has also been an absolute game changer for Saquon Barkley. Because during his time in New York with injuries and the numbers not being quite what they obviously are this season, you questioned if this guy could make the Hall of Fame. And I'm not saying he's going to, but if he breaks the record, continues to have a couple good seasons in Philly, the gold jacket could be in Saquon Barkley's future. That's how good he's played in Philadelphia. Now, obviously, you got to continue that, but this could be the greatest running back season ever. And, you know, we as a fan base are so lucky to get to experience it. Now, for the game itself, the Eagles put an absolute slashing on the Dallas Cowboys. The CJ Gardner-Johnson pick 6 to open up the game. It felt like it was over from the jump, honestly. At that point, Dallas drives, they tie it up, and then they never score again. And whether it was Kenny Pickett in at quarterback or Tanner McKee, the offense certainly looked better this week than last week. Obviously, you give Kellen Moore and these guys a week to prepare and know what they're going into and know, like, hey, it's going to be a backup quarterback in there, and this is the scheme we got to run. It's going to work better, for sure. And shout out Kenny Pickett, man. Guy had broken ribs and played through them. Had a painkiller injection before the game and at halftime, just to lay it all out there so this team can win the division. You know, we make our jokes about Kenny Pickett and how Tanner McKee should be the guy as the backup, yada, yada. But that man put it all out there for this team to win the NFC East, to secure the 2 seed, to get the Eagles to a 13-win season, and to get us in the point where, you know what, we could rest next week, and it wouldn't matter versus the Giants. So a shout out to Kenny Pickett there. Devonta Smith, 6 for 120 and 2 touchdowns. Give you a little reminder how good the Eagles wide receiver 2 is. This guy won a Heisman. Guy's an absolute pro's pro. A.J. Brown had a ridiculous touchdown catch called back for, I believe it was like a holding call that had nothing to really do with the play, but the navigation in the end zone drill to move around, to keep the feet in, to secure that catch was crazy. Then obviously he scores later in the game from a pass from Tanner McKee. Freaking launches the ball into the stands. They get it back. Guy gets a signed A.J. Brown jersey. Grant Calcaterra had a crazy catch Me and my buddies have a little bit of a debate in the group chat a couple times this year. Is Grant Alcantara better than Dallas Goedert? And I don't think so, but I think that his catching ability is really, really solid for a tight end too. And I wouldn't mind the Eagles running more, two tight end sets. The defense obviously played exceptionally well. CJ with 2 interceptions. One was a pick 6 in this game. The thing with the Eagles defense all year has been they've been excellent, but they didn't force turnovers at a high clip. And even though they lost last week to Washington, the team forced 5 turnovers. And then in this game, 4. So over the last 2 weeks, the Eagles have forced 9 turnovers. They've been playing really high quality ball. And the Eagles have limited their own turnovers. Winning the turnover battle is a great way to win NFL games. And Philly's been doing that. They didn't win last week, obviously, with the Hurts concussion. Hurts gets to rest up now. The Eagles get to rest up. They're going to be the 2 seed. And we're going to either be looking at Washington or Green Bay in a first-round wildcard playoff matchup in the link. And I'm excited for it. I'll make another video later this week about what I would do regarding should Saquon try to break the record. But the Eagles beating the Cowboys, always a fun sight. Saquon Barkley crossing 2,000 rushing yards. Great guy, great season, very well deserved MVP candidate. And Philly progresses forward and continues a great season. Let me know your thoughts on the game in the comment section down below. And let me know, would you let Saquon Barkley try to break the record? I appreciate you guys' support. I'll catch you next time. Peace.